If you've been binge watching manifestation videos but still feel stuck, this is for you. Manifestation without grounded action is just spiritual escapism. Don't get me wrong though, this is not an anti-manifestation video. This is actually a next level manifestation video, because I'm going to share with you what you can do to actually bring into fruition, into reality, everything you've been wanting. Trust me, I've been there. There's many times where I just asked the universe to give me what I wanted and expected it to just come down as a miracle. And sometimes it does happen that way, but 9 out of 10 times it doesn't. Because when you're manifesting, it's not just magic, right? There's a lot more to it. Like it's actually an agreement with reality, meaning the reality that you're at. But when you're able to go into it with a grounded approach, and for example, even with this, just making this video, right? I can't ask the universe to make this video for me. I got to get my phone, I got to get my laptop, I got to get what I want to hit in this video, right? The grounded action steps. That's all I'm trying to say, because I spent years wishing and wishing without doing much work. And that's where a lot of us get stuck. We have the high vibe playlist. We got the scripts. We got the affirmations, right? We got our vision boards. But we're just waiting for it to come in. And that's why sometimes it doesn't at all. Or you find yourself waiting longer than you would hope for. Because what's that old saying in the Bible? Or I think it was Jesus or God who says, I'm gonna butcher this really bad. I'm gonna help you, but you have to help yourself. Yeah, something like that, along those lines. That's what I'm referring to. Like, right? You got the ingredients to make the cake, but you still got to make the cake. So I got my notes over here. You're not a wizard. You're a co-creator. You got to create something. You got to take the practical action steps to manifest what you want, right? When I first moved to Sedona, Arizona, I was delusional. I did not have a plan. I moved from Chicago to there after a 4-day retreat. If you've been following me, you know a bit of the story. But I didn't have a job. I didn't have money. I had a couple $100, but that's nothing to live there. And I was just in la la land. I was an airy fairy, so to speak, at that time. And I was just living, and I'm free, and I'm an eagle, but somebody else had to pay the price for that, because I didn't have my finances. My parents were helping me at that time. They helped me till I got back on I was able to get myself, to cover myself financially. But it could have gone so different if I would have taken more of a grounded approach. I could have got a job while I was in Sedona. It didn't click for me at that time. I thought the universe, because I was trying to build a coaching business at the time as well. I thought the universe was just going to flood me with clients, and I would say my affirmations, and I would envision myself working with clients, and nothing would happen. I wouldn't reach out to no one. I would talk about it a little bit on my social media that I'm looking for clients, but sometimes it requires a little bit more than you think it will. And that's okay. Just as long as you're willing to do that, as long as you're willing to walk that extra mile. But do you catch my drift? I should have got a job at that time. I should have provided for myself fully and done whatever was necessary so that my parents wouldn't have to cover my ass at that point, right? And there's so much empowerment that comes with that once I did. And I took some grounded actions, and I started providing for myself. I started doing Uber Eats. It's just, these are the kind of things that I'm referring to. I wasn't just wishing for money to come in, for abundance, for this higher purpose, me being, having a successful business, being a successful entrepreneur. It wasn't just a dream anymore. I was willing to do those action steps to get to that point. And I achieved quite a bit by being more practical with things, by seeing my reality, how it actually is, not how I would like it to be. And I got myself in a lot of debt, guys. A ton of debt. I was like 30K in debt. because I kept wishing, oh, the universe is going to provide for me. There's going to be something coming in. It could happen today. There's money miracle. I'm praying for a money miracle. Maybe it'll happen tomorrow. Year after year after year, nothing. And that's when I realized I had to step up. You want that freedom? It comes with a price. You got to do what you got to do, right? You can't, it's not magic. Unfortunately, I tried. Trust me, I tried. But nothing manifests without your participation. Please keep that in mind. You have to do the work. You have to show up, right? It's like something as simple as you can't, or at least not right now, at this point in reality, we can't just close our eyes and imagine our car turning on and it's going to turn on. Not yet, buddy. But we do have to open the freaking door, walk outside our house, put the key, or maybe hit the switch and open the door and turn on the freaking car, right? You got the keys. You always have the keys, but you still got to go and turn on the car. Know what I mean? So real results come when you accept where you are and build from there. This is how things really start going, how you really start to gain momentum. Accept your whole current experience. Don't wish it was different. Embrace it. This is your process. I had a dream the other day where I was being arrested. Me and my girlfriend Serena, we were on our way back from a party, and I was being arrested because there was these other 10 race cars. I have a Camaro, and there was these other 10 race cars that were trying to get through the same gate that we were, but the gate was locked. And we were trying to figure out, should we try to open the gate? Should we just try to go around? And then the cops came. And they thought, because I had my car, that I was a part of the racing crew. And they tried to arrest us. And I was angry and I was upset. And I didn't want to go to jail. But in that moment, after I was giving the cops, a little aggressiveness, that's not a good idea at all, even in the dream. But I was resisting. The process of going to jail. And to me, that meant entrapment in my own life, right? I felt trapped, and it scared me. This process of going to jail scared me, but I realized in a split second that if I just accept what is, because the cop said, you're going to jail, there's no way around this, then it was so much smoother. It was so much easier for me to go through this process, even though it sucked, even though it was something I didn't want to go through. And as soon as I told that to the officer in my dream, I told him, you know what, officer, I'm not going to give you any more trouble. Let's do this here. I put my hands out. He handcuffed me. His energy shifted like that. And I was happy. I was enjoying the process of going to jail. It went smooth. It went fast. And then it was over. Right? Same thing where you're at. I know sometimes it's so easy to compare, to wish you were somewhere else, to believe you should be further ahead, and then you create this pressure to make it, this pressure to get it right now, to figure it out right now. And it does not help. There is nothing wrong with where you are. You know how long it took me to realize that? I'm letting you know I'm passing this down, guys. Be where you are. There's lessons here. There are messages here. You're growing right now. There's spiritual growth here. There's healing. There's inner work. This is your spiritual journey. This is your path. And you can always trust your path. It's not here to screw you over where you're at. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if you don't like it. For a while, even living at my parents', I hated it. Because I felt, again, that entrapment, that prison. And it wasn't like it was hell. I love my parents. There's a lot of regret now that that I moved out, because I wish I would have enjoyed that time with them more. But it was because I wanted to become more. Maybe there's that part of you that's screaming, that knows that you're great, that you can achieve more, that you have a higher purpose. I get it. But there's a process. You have to trust the process. There's a greater vision that your higher self is holding right now. And you have to get these lessons from where you're at. A lot of times it's responsibility, it's ownership. Maybe there's some values that you're creating right now. You're becoming one way or another. There's always a higher plan. You can trust the universe. But when we resist, like I did in that dream, it becomes torturous. It becomes like our own hell. But it's a lot easier when you have what Tony Robbins calls a compelling future, and you know where you're going. You know what you want to build towards. You're not just existing and living every day. Like there's this lady that I drive by all the time, and she's always there with her umbrella, and I don't know what she's doing, but she's always like on the side road, and she's there every day, and it reminds me of like life is passing, one way or another, and you're choosing what you're gonna do with your life. Some people fortunately waste it. Some people don't. It's on you. What are you gonna do with that? It reminds me not to waste my life. And there's so much you can do if you allow yourself to find out, right? You can't be a victim to life, because life is gonna rock you left and right every time. And I've been there, but I challenge you, where are you still waiting for life to hand you something? You're waiting for someone to come and save you. You're waiting for a handout. It's real stuff. I used to be there. Shit. That was conditioning as well. My parents growing up, they would always try to save me. And that did not help, because I didn't know how to save myself. And then that conditions you to always expect to be saved. And that when you have that mentality of wanting to be saved, just know that it stems from childhood. What you really wish you would have right now is support from your parents or an authority figure. And that's what tends to happen. You have this condition, and if you snap out of it, realize you could always save yourself. So wherever you're waiting for someone to come and help you, you gotta help yourself. Do what you gotta do, step up. Just like I did, right? It's gonna be so much better when you, at the end of the day, know that you can take care of yourself, that you got you, and you don't have to worry about nobody else coming and saving you and trying to make sure you're on the right track, right? Like, that's real self-leadership. And sometimes what really helps for you to step into that is knowing how powerful you are. You're extremely powerful, you don't even know it. I'm trying to remind you right now. Come back. You have the ability. You can take responsibility for your life. You're not a victim, right? And that's one of the things about becoming a man. I was here watching this reel the other day of this. He's a rapper, but he was speaking truth. It's like the number one trait of a man, and if you don't have this, it doesn't make you a man. He said it's accountability. If you don't have accountability / responsibility for your life, what you do, you know the risk, you know the reward from the action you're about to take, then you're not a man. And honestly, I agree with that. Because if you do something, right? Like if you go rob a gas station and then you don't want to take responsibility for it, come on, man, right? Whatever comes with what you do, you have to be willing to take ownership. I was willing to sleep in my car fast for days without food so that I can make this transition from Chicago to Sedona, because I didn't have that much money. Luckily, I didn't have to go through that, but it was still scary as hell. But I was willing to do whatever. I knew the risk and the rewards that came with my decision to move there. And I owned them. So where are you not owning stuff in your life that you know, hey, you got to step up. You got to take that. Take that leadership. You have it in you. If you're watching this, you have it in you, right? Another thing, your energy must move through your body. Here's what I mean. You don't need to be the perfect vibration, but you do need to do something, right? You don't need to be the perfect vibration, but you do need to do something. There are going to be days where you don't want to do something you have to do. You can't just depend on your emotions and staying motivated all the time. There are many times where I don't want to record a video and I'm tired and I'm exhausted, but I still do because I made a commitment. And that's the other thing. You got to keep your commitments. You got to keep your word. It took me a long time. It's a process, but you really start to trust yourself and realize and believe in yourself and count on yourself, rely on yourself when you're able to keep your promises. That's a big thing. Do what you said you were going to do. I've had, man, not only have I, like, people are such a reflection, right? When someone doesn't keep their word to me, I can't help but lose respect for them. I can't look at them the same because integrity is such a high value for me. And if you say you have that, you better be that. Don't act like it, right? Don't just pretend to be that. And fortunately, I've come across people, and people will lose respect for you. So do what you say, right? Finish what you start. To stay true to your promises, to your commitments. They matter. Those little things that you think don't, that people might not see or even do see, they matter, right? So just do something. You know how many times I've gone, to do boxing workouts where I was exhausted, but I said I was going to go X amount of times a week. Today was one of them. This morning I did a boxing session, and whoo, we did a couple leg days this freaking weekend. I was telling my instructor, like, tell that guy Mike, because I told this guy Mike that I would come back today. Tell this guy Mike that I did it. I didn't bitch out, and he relayed the message. Like, I came, kept my word. So do that, guys. All right. Your micro wins. It's a little formula for you. Micro wins, momentum, confidence, alignment. Micro wins, momentum, confidence, alignment. This is not my first YouTube video. If you go through my channel, I have so many shorts, I have so many videos that this is how you start to build any skill set. You should have seen me on day one of boxing. I was trash. I could barely keep up with the class. I was so exhausted by the end of the class, and I'm 3 months in now, and I can start to see the conditioning, and it's become such a spiritual practice. But imagine if I would have stopped after day one, even after day 3, the momentum gets cut off. You can't start and stop. But I also say this with compassion because I've been there. I remember there was a point where I was trying to create this course, my first digital course, and I was excited. I wanted to do this, but I just kept self-sabotaging. I would think about it, or I'll do it today. I wouldn't keep my word. I'll do it tomorrow. Still wouldn't keep my promise. And I got to the point where I had my head literally on the wall, just so angry, so frustrated with myself because I couldn't keep this commitment. But it was in that moment, that pain, the pain of not doing it hurt more than doing it. Sometimes you have to get to that point. But after that, before I say that, in that moment, I'm like, you know what? Just do it, Roy. Just do it. So I had my head against the wall. I took a deep breath. I grabbed my pen and my pad, and I started scripting out the course. Just creating the bullet points and how I was going to go about it. The next day I recorded the first video. And the day after that, the second, and so on. But I broke through that day. But I was fed up. Sometimes you got to get to that point as well. You're just so tired of your own crap that you refuse to stay the same. You refuse to have such a low standard for yourself and to let yourself down. It hurts too much. It's that consistency. It'll take you so far that it'll give you momentum. Just give yourself momentum, because you'll start to enjoy the process as you keep doing, as you get better at what you're doing. Boxing is so much more fun now because I've gotten better. Even with driving, right? Anything that you do, basketball, whatever it is, the more you do it, the better you're going to get, the more you're going to enjoy it, the more confidence you're going to get, and the more momentum you're going to get. Also, embodiment over obsession with alignment. Just focus on the process, right? You don't always have to focus so much on the goal. Like, you're going to get the result, right? If you do boxing, sorry, I just keep using things in my life, but if you do boxing, you're going to lose weight, right? You're going to get in better conditioning because you're going through that process. There's no way around it. If you're driving and you're trying to go from from point A to destination B, as long as you're driving and you're doing the process of driving, you're going to get there. And you're embodying it. You're embodying these parts, these new qualities, these new behaviors, these new patterns. Maybe just you need to make faster decisions. Start embodying that. Embodying who you want to be. Where you want this purpose, right? Right now, even this content, this is an embodiment of who I want to become, of who I am. And they're both, right, one and the same, so to speak. But this is a story that I want to share from where I went from wishful thinking to actually creating something tangible. Because I used to love wishful thinking. I used to say it again and again, and I would believe it with my heart. And it just wouldn't, the law of attraction wouldn't, quote unquote, kick in. Or it does, right? Because your energy, but it just, I wouldn't get the 10K in a week, right? I wouldn't get the 10K in a day. It was just so unreasonable and impractical. But I get it, because that's what we learn. There's a lot of spiritual gurus that tell you, just say it, just affirm it, just, right? To just do this. But they get you all hyped up. They sell you on it. But what about the practicality of it all, right? If you're trying to travel, you still gotta get on the plane. I love what Eric Thomas says. You have faith that you're gonna land, but you still got to get on the plane. You still got to go through the process of traveling. There's no way around it. There's no way around that plane ride. You need the time, you need the money. It is what it is, right? So there's a time when I used to wish the universe would just deliver it to me without no effort, no work. Just come on. All right, universe, I got my hand out. Give me it. It didn't work that way. And again, I'm not judging, but I'm letting, because that was me, but I'm letting you know. Once you step out of that and you realize, no, I'm trying to help. Once you step out of that and you start to see that there are practical steps that are necessary for you to create what you want, you're gonna get what you want a lot faster. When I wanted to be a personal trainer, I couldn't wish for my diploma. I couldn't wish for my certification. I had to find the freaking school. I had to drive an hour to it because it was downtown. I had to go there for 6 months, right? 4 or 5 days a week, go to school. It was like a part-time job, and I got my diploma. But that's how it works. It's not saying don't dream. I'm not even saying don't do affirmations. But again, this is the next level manifestation. Do the next step. What's the next logical step for you to make sure you manifest what you want? Right? If you want to learn about the law of attraction, what's the next step? Oh, let me go try get some wisdom on it. How can I learn more about the law of attraction? Right? And sometimes just by learning and you're getting excited, you'll want to take action. You'll know the next step because you're so excited, you're in love with the process that you just naturally, organically want to do something. But I would visualize, I would journal, I would hope, but nothing moved. I've done it all, my friends. I've done it all. And the real change happened when I got radically honest about where I was. I accepted my current circumstances, and I took one committed action every day. Every day. You know, even if it was small, the best choice I ever made was when I came home drunk from a party one night when I was 22. And I was just so fed up with the way my life was going. I was drinking every weekend because I got cheated on. I turned to alcohol to cope. And I was laying in my bed just thinking, is this how the rest of my life is gonna be? There's no meaning, no purpose. I felt worthless. I felt like nothing. I had nothing to stand on. I was living with my parents. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I wanted to move out. And I asked myself that question, is this going to be the rest of my life? And for whatever reason, me, my spirit, my subconscious mind said no. Even when you're under the influence of a substance, of alcohol, that's how powerful you are. Your spirit will come through. And that one decision where I said no made me change, because I made a vow, I made a commitment that I will learn something new, one new freaking thing every day to better myself, to change my life. And I did. The next morning I went, I worked out. The gym gave me purpose at that time. I worked out and I got home and I went on YouTube, and that was my little routine. And I came across this video titled Why I Have No Friends. Little did I know that was my first mentor. That was my first intro to personal development. I fell in love with learning. For the next 2 years, I learned, I applied, I became, I healed, I grew. And I realized I was living a lie. I wasn't this failure. I wasn't this loser. I wasn't worthless. I had fucking value. But I had to find it. And sometimes it takes a video, maybe a video like this, for you to realize that you're powerful, that you hold value. But you have to see it. And with a lot of unraveling and undoing and digging, I was able to see that I was the exact opposite of who I believed I was at that time. There was something in me that wanted to be shared, that I needed people to see, and that I could give back to people as well, because everything that I learned throughout those 2 years, now I was giving it back. I was sharing the wisdom, hoping to help someone that was where I was at. And that's what it's about. And my mentor would always say, each one teach one. And damn, do I agree. Help each other. Be there for your brothers, for your sisters. Help each other level up. That's what it's about. But even with my coaching business and building this channel and moving through rock bottom, like, it was all small steps. It didn't happen overnight. I didn't get to the level that I did to be able to coach by, after a day. There's a lot of studying, a lot of courses, a lot of retreats, a lot of inner work, having coaches myself, a lot of mentors. It took time, money, discipline, being willing to face myself, accepting reality, accepting me for how I felt at that time in my life. This is what comes with it. And you will never be presented with something that you can't handle. I know things can feel overwhelming sometimes. I know there's so many moments where you feel lost in life, where you just hit rock bottom and you think you can't do it. You think you want to give up. Sometimes you do give up. But as cliche as it sounds, you have to get back up. I didn't come here to fail. If you're watching this video, you have something to offer. Find it, give it, and do the same as one person did for you. Eric Thomas, the #1 motivational speaker in the world, he helped me with one of his TikToks in one of my darkest moments. He shared how he ate out of trash cans, and he lived in abandoned buildings, and he was so alone. It was so relatable. He went from being homeless to the #1 motivational speaker in the world. How do you do that? There's something deep that you have to tap into, but all those experiences that led him to that point where he realized he was great. And he even said, I didn't know I was great when I was 11. All those painful, suffering moments are what take you to your evolution, or what take you to who you want to become. But you have to accept reality. Don't deny it. Because if you can accept reality where you're at, you can start to build a new reality based off that, right? Maybe it sounds paradoxical. I don't know. But once you come to a place of acceptance, then you can accept your whole experience. But I stopped asking the universe to prove something to me, and I started proving something to myself. And when I say proving, I mean more showing myself that I was capable, that I could take responsibility, that I can help myself, that I could support myself. That's what I'm referring to. If you want to get real results, if you want to stop just watching these manifestation videos and wondering why they're not working, why the laws of the universe are not helping you or activating, they are, but and sometimes it's unconscious blocks as well. We have our own, there's still more stuff to work through, and that's why we're blocking what we want. But a lot of times too, to get those real results, there needs to be a grounded approach. What's the next logical step, and what's the best use of your time? What is going to get you forward, moving forward, give you momentum? What are the priorities that you need to focus on right now, today, to start getting what you want? That's what you need to start asking. If this video helped you, drop a comment. Let me know what was the biggest insight or realization that you had from watching today's video. I really hope this helped. If you haven't checked out my course, Courage Unleashed, check it out. It's in the description. This is going to help you. It's going to help you find your true self, help you with your becoming. It's going to help you trust your past. It's going to help you see everything that you actually are, and help you see what you're not. I love what Bob Proctor says. Are you truly who you pretend to be? And what he means by that is all the insecurities, how you feel weak, how you feel like you're not enough, how you feel like a failure. Are you really who you pretend to be? Probably not. All right, again, go ahead and check out Courage Unleashed. It's going to help you tremendously. That is the next step. And if not, go ahead and check out the next video. I'm going to put it over here. It's called Feeling Good. Feeling Lost, Good. This is going to just help you go deeper into the experience that you're in right now and give you more clarity as to why it's a good thing. Until next time, Rogelio Diaz, go get what's yours.